Welcome to the Bivouac. This is your play-along tutorial on how to play the game of Speed. To play this game, you're going to need one standard deck of 52 cards. That's 4 suits, 13 cards to a suit, and no jokers. This game can be played with 2 or 3 players. Best game is best with 2 players, but you can play with 3 if you want. And I'll explain how to tweak it for 3 along the way. But I'm going to assume you're playing with 2 players. The first step of the game is to figure out who's going to be the dealer. All right. If you can't decide who's the dealer, then the dealer is going to be whoever is closest to this video play. The dealer is going to take all 52 cards then and give them a good shuffle. And then they're going to deal out the entire deck to the players. So if you're playing with 2 people, it'll be 26 and 26. If you're playing with 3 people, you have about like 17. You'll toss out the extra. Okay? And just, not play with that 3rd card. But I'm going to assume you're playing with 2 players. So you can either deal it straight out right now, or you can do what I do, and I just like to cut the deck in half about, and then count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and it's a little bit faster than dealing them out, but that's your own personal preference. So go ahead and make sure that everyone gets to the point where they have an even shaving of the whole deck in front of them. Okay, now that we're at this point, what we're going to do, every player is going to take the top 5 cards of their little personal deck in front of them and draw them up, and this will be their hand. Okay? So I'm going to show the hands to the world just for demonstration purposes, but of course, if you're playing a real game, you're not going to show these to the world. All right? Now, the next step is to draw and flip over the top card of your also remaining draw pile into the kind of center here to start the piles. So you've got your hand in your hand, you've got your draw deck in front of you, and you've got the 2 piles, or 3 piles if you're playing with 3 people, in the center. Okay? This is the starting formation of the game. The way this game works is you're trying to get rid of all of your cards, that includes your hand and your deck, before the other guy does. There is no turns in this game, so if you see a move, you can lay a move. Alright? So once we say go, the game's going to be on. If at any point you have less than 5 cards in your hand, you may draw up so that you have 5 cards in your hand. In order to lay a card, it needs to be on top of one of the piles that are currently in the center. And the number has to be either 1 higher or 1 lower than the card currently on top. So for instance, I have a 5 here, so I could lay a 6 on that, which I do have, or I could lay a 4 on that. Kings go to aces, aces go to 2s, so you go around the corner, and 2s go back to aces, and aces go back to kings. Okay? Suit does not matter, so you can just lay whatever card on top you want, so long as it's 1 higher or 1 lower. Okay? The first player to run out of cards will be the winner. If you get into the likely situation that a player runs out of cards, then I will explain that in a second. But other than that, that's pretty much the entire game. Okay, so it's the first to run out of their hand and their draw deck, and then you lay it on top of these piles. So continue the video if you get stuck, because nobody can lay a card. But other than that, get ready, get set, go. Alright, so it seems like you're stuck if you're continuing around. So what happens when you're stuck? Well, if neither player can lay any of the cards out of the 5 cards in their hand, okay, which, actually I could lay cards here, but we're going to pretend that I can't, okay? So we'll just pretend that I can't. What you'll do is, if anybody has a deck left, so both players have a deck left, or just one player has a deck left, then what they'll do is all the players who have a deck left will take the top card of their draw pile and flip it onto the piles to start a fresh card. So if only one person has it, just that one person will flip. And if no players have it, though, if no players have a deck left, then what you do is you take these cards in the piles that are middle, give them a little shuffle, and then you flip whatever 2 or 3 cards, depending on how many piles you had, and you can continue playing off of those. Okay, so those are kind of the ways to keep the game going after you get stuck. All right, that should be enough information for you. That's the entire game of Speed. Good luck.